Griffin Webb. My maternal grandfather was born on April 24, 1896, in a hand-hewn log home on the top of a hill on 22 acres in rural Jackson County, Mississippi. He was number 10 of 16 children born to John Griffin Webb and the fourth child born to his mother, Philonis Powell Webb. His siblings were Frederick, Joseph Riley, Don Carlos, Clifton, Ellis Kuby, Sarah Goldie, John, Tolly, Terrence, Theodore, Dillard, Naomi, Almeida, Ramel or Shep, and James. On June 5, 1917, he registered for service in the United States Army. His registration reveals he was born in Fontainebleau, Mississippi, and was living in Ocean Springs at the time. He was a bridge carpenter working for Louisville and Nashville Railroad in Mobile and New Orleans. He was described as being of medium height and weight, having gray eyes and light-colored hair. On July 1, 1917, Griffin was among a company of Jackson County boys sent to Mexico by way of Jackson, Mississippi, to serve in Company 1, 3rd Battalion, 1st Infantry, and drive Pancho Villa back into Mexico from the Texas border. Shortly thereafter, Griffin was assigned to an artillery unit and put on a ship bound for France to fight in World War I. While in this unit, he would care for the mules and horses that pulled the big guns, which he called Big Bertha. He often talked of the barrels of the huge cannon splitting like banana peels from the heat of them having been fired over and over and over during a battle. During his service to our country, he would fight in several well-known battles, such as the Battle of St. Mihiel, which was the first U.S.-led offensive in the war. He would also fight at Belleau Wood, which was about 5 miles west of the town of Chateau-Thierry and just 50 miles northeast of Paris. In a 1983 interview with Griffin, he said the following about his time in service. "That combat you're talking about, making a drive, I was never in a short drive. We always had a long drive because I was in a sharp division. As soon as we got there, we went into a battle close to the Argonne, and the 1st Division was a sharp division. They just go in and make a drive here. The French, American, or English would come in and take the front, then move back out and go someplace else to go and make another drive. That's what we did." Griffin would serve in France for a little over a year. He returned home to Ocean Springs to his dad's household. In December 1920, he would buy 10 acres in rural Jackson County, not far from his father's place, west of present-day Highway 63 in Van Cleve. Sometime between then and 1923, he would marry Dora Taylor, and they would have one child, a boy, Henry. They would later divorce, and Griffin would meet and marry Lucy Cosper Rich. Griffin and Lucy remained married until her death in 1975. Through the years, Griffin and Lucy would have 8 children to add to the 1 each they had at the time of their marriage to each other. They were Henry and Glenn, Herbert, Nettie, Carol, my mama, Blanche, Glenda, Terry, Martha, and the baby, Lucy. They started their lives together in Jackson County and later moved to Harrison County before finally settling in Stone County in the early 1940s. Griffin was not what is typically known as a rich man, but he always had more than enough and was rich in family. In his 1983 interview, he spoke about life as he had grown up. "Coming up, we had plenty. We didn't have any money, but we had plenty. We could get all the fish we wanted, different kinds. We had all the bacon we wanted, all the pork we wanted. We had a big smokehouse filled full of hogs. We'd kill 8 or 10 more at a time. We'd fill it up. We had cattle. We'd butcher cows, hang them up in the smokehouse, and smoke them. And we had sweet potatoes and corn and a little mill to make our own cornmeal. All kinds of peas and beans and stuff like that. Sweet potatoes and Irish potatoes. People just don't raise that down here anymore. There was no work to do, but there was plenty for us to do at the house. We had our own chickens, your own eggs, your own chickens to eat. We raised our own chickens. Did you know that times were good then? There wasn't any money. You'd meet a man on the road. He wouldn't have a nickel in his pocket, but he had plenty at home, plenty to eat. Yeah, we raised sheep, made all our own mattresses and pillows and stuff, and made our own quilts out of wool, solid wool. Not long after Lucy's death, he moved into the household of his daughter Carol in Wiggins. As his health failed him, he would eventually move to Mobile, Alabama to live with his baby daughter Lucy and her family. Family was important to Griffin. He believed there was nothing greater than family getting together as often as possible, sharing stories, memories, and of course, good food. In his 1983 interview, he said, "Family get-togethers has all about vanished away. Like brothers and sisters, cousins and aunts and uncles and grandparents, all of them. They used to have great get-togethers and a big dinner, have a big eating. They don't have that no more. Very few of them. Once in a while you hear tell of families that have great get-togethers, but not no more like they used to be. It was a steady thing. Used to be. No one meets one another now. They just don't." In April 1986, on his 90th birthday, which was his last birthday on this earth, he had a grand celebration with family and friends in Mobile. After this, his health began to decline rapidly, and on January the 20th, 1987, he left his earthly home and joined his wife Lucy in heaven. I, for one, have so many fond memories of my Grandpa Webb. He was an important part of my life, and I continue to share his memories with my children and grandchildren and with you.